We have the Buffalo Bills taking on the Miami Dolphins. This is your Week 2 2024 prediction and preview video. Hit subscribe if you're new. Also hit the like button. This is a Thursday night football game, and this game is taking place in Miami. So let's start off with the Miami Dolphins. Crazy game on Sunday. Right before the game started, Tyreek Hill goes out there. He gets detained for speeding. Then he goes out there and he plays the game, and he looked phenomenal while doing it. The Miami Dolphins would go out there and they would defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars 20-17, and they were down in this game. The key to victory against the Buffalo Bills is to do exactly what you did against the Jacksonville Jaguars, but it is going to be a little bit tougher. The Jacksonville Jaguars sacked Tua Tagovailoa 3 times, and Tua Tagovailoa had to put the offense on his back. Granted, Tyreek Hill went out there. He had a monster day. He had 7 catches for 130 receiving yards and 1 receiving touchdown. And Jalen Waddle had 5 catches for 109 receiving yards. But Tua was their main staple of the offensive production because he had 338 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown. The run game did not help them out. The run game was very inconsistent. Jeff Wilson did not do much on the ground. Neither did Devon Achane. At least he walked away with a rushing touchdown. You have to get the run game going. The offensive line with the Miami Dolphins, they're fully healthy from tackle to tackle. And you could say that they don't have one of the stronger offensive lines in the NFL, but they don't need to. We saw the run game go out there and put up big production last season with Devon Achane and also with Raheem Mostert as well. Get some motion going with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill to open up the offense to just give Tua Tagovailoa some more help. If Tua was able to do that against a tough Jacksonville Jaguars defense with a brand new defensive coordinator, he can go out there and he can give you similar production against the Buffalo Bills and Sean McDermott. It is going to be tough because this is an in-division matchup, and the last time these two teams faced each other, the Buffalo Bills not only beat them once, they beat them twice last season. So you know that Coach McDaniel and Tua Tagovailoa want to go out there and get some revenge. Anytime you win a division game, it's twice as sweet. You go up in the division rankings and you knock down your rival in the rankings as well. And we're only into week 2, but this is a pivotal matchup. So the Dolphins really have to go out there and do everything that it takes to go out there and win this game. Offensively, I like what they did last week. They could translate it over to this week, especially on a short week. But as long as the offensive line can keep Tua upright against guys like Von Miller and Greg Rousseau, you're going to be in good shape. The defense did go out there. They did shock me. They were able to put a lot of pressure on Trevor Lawrence throughout the entire game. Now, the Jacksonville Jaguars offense in the past has been up and down due to the inconsistency with the offensive line, but I'm going to give the Miami Dolphins players a lot of credit and their brand new defensive coordinator, Anthony Weaver, a lot of credit as well. They didn't let Tua Tagovailoa get outside They did not let Trevor Lawrence, get outside the pocket as much, and they were able to get consistent pressure with guys like Calais Campbell, Zach Seiler, and also Jalen Phillips as well. And he was on the snap count because he's still recovering from an Achilles injury. As the weeks go on, he's going to start playing more and more. They're obviously still going to be missing out on Bradley Chubb in this football game, but that's perfectly fine. The secondary played very well. Kendall Fuller was running all over the place. The same with Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey is never going to go out there and put up big-time interception numbers because he's a blanket corner. Most quarterbacks in the NFL, they're not going to even test his side. So the fact that you have a consistent corner and Kendall Fuller around him should definitely work out against the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are a very weird team. This is not the same team from last season. They no longer have Stephon Diggs. They have Keon Coleman, who is really their number 1 wide receiver. You have Khalil Shakir. You have Dalton Kincaid, and you also have Dawson Knox as well. They have a bunch of weapons that can go out there and beat you. It's like a paper cut going down the field. They can kill you doing those little simple things by just doing dink and dunks down the field. And the next thing you know, maybe a guy like Khalil Shakir is beating you over top. So I would say this right here, play it by receiver. You don't have to go out there and double cover anyone, which could work into the Miami Dolphins' favor. You want to put a lot of pressure on Josh Allen and force him to be the main guy to beat you with those wide receivers. Josh Allen had a great game last game against the Arizona Cardinals. But one thing for sure, the wide receivers, they struggle to get off a press. Press those wide receivers, force them to beat you in space, and force Josh Allen to do all the heavy lifting. Not saying that he can't do that, because he can. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. The problem is this: when you force Josh Allen to do more, he's a bit turnover prone. In the past, we've seen him throw numerous interceptions in a game, and he's done that against the Miami Dolphins before. He also had a fumble that was lost last week as well against the Arizona Cardinals. So take the run game away with James Cook and force Josh Allen to be the guy that can beat you inside the pocket and make these wide receivers beat you over top. You also had Jordan Brooks and David Long, who looked very good last week. You like to see that, because the interior of the defense for the Miami Dolphins last season at the linebacking spot was not good. But overall, I think the Dolphins have a very good shot of going out there and winning this Thursday night. But let's talk about the Buffalo Bills. It was a fun week last week when they went against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, they were down in the game against the Cardinals, but they came back. That usually is what happens when you have a guy like Josh Allen, who is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He was 18 of 23 on the day, 232 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That is what you want to see against Miami Dolphins. A clean football game. Get James Cook going out the backfield. Get him going in the receiving game as well. I still have a lot of question marks about the wide receivers with the Buffalo Bills. They showed a lot of good. They showed some bad last week as well. Later in the game, they start to wake up. Keon Coleman was the leading wide receiver last week, which you expect. He had 4 catches for 51 receiving yards. Khalil Shakir had 3 catches for 42 receiving yards and 1 receiving touchdown. Majority of the damage that was done against the Arizona Cardinals came from Josh Allen. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. He was phenomenal all day long. And he's dealing with a hand injury right now. He's expected to play in this game, and he is going to play in this game. But that is something to look at. So hopefully he's going to be able to go out there and put up big time production like how he did last week. But they had to go out there and they had to do a lot to beat the Arizona Cardinals team, which on paper the Buffalo Bills are better than, in my opinion. They won that game 34-28. The key to victory: take care of the football for Josh Allen. The offensive line looked very solid at times last week as well. Josh Allen did have the 1 fumble, but besides that, he did a very good job of taking care of the football. You do not want to give Tua Tagovailoa too many chances to go out there and beat you over the top. Then the Miami Dolphins try to go out there and establish a run game. They'll try to use time possession against the Buffalo Bills. And when the Buffalo Bills don't turn the football over, especially Josh Allen, they have a good chance of beating anyone in the AFC. So that's the main key to victory. I think that the wide receivers will develop over time because you have a great quarterback in Josh Allen, and that's usually how things go in the NFL based off of past instances. When you look at the defense with the Buffalo Bills, they struggled last week against Kyler Murray. The passing numbers, they weren't as high, but they did let up 28 points. You don't want to do the same thing against the Miami Dolphins. You don't want to get into a shootout. When you look at how the Bills have played the Dolphins in the past, they've done a very good job of maintaining that offense with their key cornerbacks. Teron Johnson, it has already been ruled out for Thursday night. He's not going to play. But you still have a lot of good players in that secondary that I'm fans of. That I'm a big fan of. You have Rasul Douglas, who is a very good football player. You have Taylor Rapp, is a very good safety as well. You now slide a guy like Christian Benford to be that number 2 cornerback. Teron Johnson is more so in the nickel and the outside. You'll put Cam Lewis in there. So you do worry about that when you go against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, because those guys can beat pretty much any secondary in the NFL. You don't want to run that press man coverage. One thing that was a constant last week with the Buffalo Bills was their pass rush. Von Miller finally got a sack. He played 12 games last season, was not able to record a single sack. He had a sack on the day, but Greg Rousseau had 3 sacks. We're going to see if the pass rush is legit, because that's the main key to victory for the Buffalo Bills on the defensive side. Put as much pressure on Tua Tagovailoa as possible. Stop those wide receivers from beating you deep, and watch out for the explosive run game of the Dolphins. Just because their run game did not get going last week does not mean that it can't get going this week. Devon Achane had 7 catches for 76 receiving yards last week in that win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Look out for those running backs, keep them in the backfield, and meet them at the sideline. Raheem Mostert has a lot of speed. Devon Achane has a lot of speed. Jeff Wilson can beat you up as well. Do not let the run game gas you, because if you do, that's when Tua Tagovailoa can Go with a play action, and the next thing you know, Tyreek Hill is throwing a peace sign at you, and he's running to the house for a 50 to 60-yard touchdown. This is going to be a close game. Both of these teams are very good teams. I have both of these teams making the NFL playoffs if they can both stay healthy. And the Dolphins right now, they're dealing with a lot of injuries on the defensive side. And the Bills are going to be missing one of their better corners in Teron Johnson. With that being said, I am going to take the Miami Dolphins to win this game. It's going to be a close one. I have them winning this football game 24-21. But let me know in the comment section below, who do you have winning this game? The Buffalo Bills or the Miami Dolphins? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. God bless. Peace.